Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 5 of the Sounds Legit podcast, recorded, just get this one out of the way, recorded on the 3rd of April, 2016. I keep hoping and planning to release episode 2, but it's so bizarre because I'd love to release it today, and I should have released it today, but I figured, okay, but I'm going to record a new episode today, so should I just release episode 5 and at some point release episode 2, but I haven't released episode 2, and now I think I'll never release episode 2, so... I mean, if you are listening to this, the one or two people that actually do listen to this hour-long diatribe of me just rambling on about absolute fucking nonsense, do check out my episode 2. It's quite nice. I'll probably release it next week when I'm lazy because this is coming out really late actually. So I'll probably release it tomorrow evening. But no, how's everyone? How are you guys doing? Everyone okay? How's your Easter break? What did you get up to? I didn't get up to much. I think my mom and I pretty much decided there's no point in me flying across the channel for Easter. As seen, I just spent literally almost a month at her place, so she's sick of me. She's like, dude, you have work, just fucking deal with it. We can talk on Skype, okay? No, but dudes, seriously, I was so much to talk about. I first of all, there's a lady called Charla Nash from Connecticut in the United States, and she's tragically the proof why I fucking hate chimpanzees, man. I mean, I just, because I heard about this in the podcast about this lady that got attacked by chimpanzee that initially I thought she was the owner, but no, it was Charla's employer that was the owner of this pet chimpanzee that just went fucking nuts and ripped into her face. I mean, the reason why I'm talking about this now is because this lady recently had a face transplant that was supported or sponsored by the United States Pentagon or the US military. So they're trying to see if the technology is used to recreate a face can be used for disfigured soldiers coming back from war, which is good. I mean, in fairness, she's looking good, man. I mean, I just looked at a photo. Considering she got fucking mauled by a chimp, a 90-pound, was it 90-kilogram chimp? Hang on, let me just confirm those horrific facts. 90-kilogram chimp. Does that even fucking matter? It doesn't even fucking matter, honestly, because those things are just all muscle. A chimp, just all fucking muscle. There's rarely any fat in there. Even a baby chimp can choke you out if it really wanted to. And I'm like, why the fuck is anyone keeping a fucking chimp as a pet? I was reading the article and I just realized something. So apparently this lady, Charla's employer, had been looking after this chimp since it was an infant. And so this thing's an adult now. And she's house trained it, so it almost autonomous, really. It goes around, it drinks wine, it can operate a basic computer and can open the doors of cars. So apparently on this fated day, this chimp gets the keys from the drawers and lets itself out the back door and starts trying to use those keys to open cars. And so the owner is trying to lure it back into the backyard, and it wouldn't respond because I think the chimp just wanted to maybe play around or whatnot. Now, there's the part of the article I read that I can't believe the author of the article just didn't pick up on this. What the owner of the chimp did, maybe I should get a name actually, so it's probably easier. Hang on. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Where is the article? Sandra Herold. Right, Sandra. So that's the owner. And the chimp's called Travis. Anyways. So Sandra's trying to lure Travis back into her backyard, and that didn't work. So what she thought would be a very good idea, and let me just confirm that particular fact from this Guardian article that was released in 2009. What did she do? So I'm quoting from the article now. She's saying Travis would not be lured back into the house even after Harold, that's the owner, gave him tea laced with Xanax. You gave a 90-kilogram chimpanzee Xanax, God knows how the Americans pronounce it, a drug used for treating anxiety in humans. Okay, the article continues. Harold calls Nash, who drove over, but when she stepped out of the car at around 3:40 p.m., Travis went at her in full force. While it was not clear what prompted the assault, Nash had markedly changed her hairstyle since the last time Travis had seen her, possibly leading to mistake her for an intruder. Now, the author is either a dummy or somehow just didn't maybe ping the fact that you're not supposed to give chimpanzees fucking Xanax, a drug used for treating anxiety in humans. You know, so for me personally, I'm looking at the article, I'm like, yeah, of course the fucking chimp went nuts. You just gave him fucking Xanax. Jesus Christ. And it literally launched at Travis. What's her name? What's the poor lady's name? Why am I forgetting these facts? Charla. Is it Charla Nash? Yeah. It effectively launched at Nash, literally at just brutally assaulting her. And we're looking at this article now where, oh my God, Nash is, they're saying, oh, she's recovering. And there's this photo where it says, where is it? Let's see. So I'm looking at the photo of Travis, which is, this thing's brutal. So a massive chimp. And, this article basically says, Nash lost her nose, lips, eyelids, hands after she was attacked by her employer's chimp. Jesus. And in the end, they had to kill the fucking thing, because it attacked. And so you had the owner, Sandra, trying to pull this 90-pound chimp off this poor lady, and she's 70 years old. You're going to pull a chimp that's in full force rage mode off a victim, and you're 70 years old. Why do you have a fucking chimp? A chimpanzee. Those things have no body fat. It's just all fucking muscle. It's insane. It's fucking madness. Madness. So, the owner, Sandra had to get a knife and stabbed Travis, the chimpanzee, multiple times. Travis ran off into the woods, and wherever the police came, formed a cordon around Nash, who was literally at that point unconscious. Can you imagine that? Getting ripped apart by a fucking chimp. I fucking hate those things. Fuck them. Fuck chimps. Honestly. Fuck chimps, baboons, the whole fucking lot. Fuck them. I know there's people who are like, oh, we have to respect the animals. I'm like, yeah, fuck those animals. I don't necessarily understand this. I don't understand those animals. Same thing I don't understand about fucking bears. Bears are fucking cannibals. They are just gruesome animals. And polar bears are the worst. They will fucking kill you. And it's like, I think the problem we human beings have is like with I can never say that word. Anthropomorphized. I know somebody can probably correct me, but it's just madness. It's just insane. I was just reading this article. I was going to start off about Kim fucking Kardashian and Emily Ratajkowski, blah, 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 posing nude, but I figured I just started reading this article and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. I think people are weird. Why not just have, a pet cat or a dog? Or an otter, I don't know, a fucking chimp, mate. It's probably a reason why we should all be vegans, because chimps, they do they eat, they don't, no, they do eat meat actually, so no point, we should all remain omnivores, oh my God. But anyways, I did want to start off about Kim Kardashian, I'm also getting to it now, so Kim Kardashian, Emily Ratajkowski, or whatever the fuck her name is. It's not like I'm even going to bother pronouncing the name properly now, seeing that she posed topless with Kim Kardashian flipping the fucking middle finger at the world. And there's something weird about that, because I'm like, okay, if both ladies are going to do that, it wasn't an accident, it wasn't like they were in public, that maybe the wind went up their skirts and they weren't wearing underwear, or maybe they weren't wearing bras and whatever. I would get it. If that happened, fine. Censor it. I get it. Like, that's perfect. That's fine. Just do it. But if you're going to purposely go in front of a mirror and then flash your tits at us and then throw us the fucking middle finger, I demand to see your fucking tits at that point, honestly, because I didn't force you to do it. I didn't ask you to do it. You're not doing porn. You're not a porn star. So what the fuck, you know? So basically, what was I even doing on my Facebook? I was just going through Facebook and I saw this whole trending thing and I saw the Kim Kardashian. I'm like, didn't she do a topless selfie at some point? Was it 2 or 3 weeks ago? I mean, I think that happened and Ellen DeGeneres did something and I think Madonna did the same. And I'm like, wait, why are you all showing us your tits all of a sudden? I mean, I didn't ask for unsolicited tits. So anyways, for me, it was just a bit... So I actually took offense to that, okay? Because I went to this website, I think it was a Daily Mail or whatever. And yeah, so you see Kim Kardashian and Emily ratatatatatatkowskiwhatchamalacallit. I don't give a fuck what the name is at this point. And so they're both there in a bathroom somewhere, and the tops are down. They're knockers, some saggy tits anyway. But anyways, yeah, it was out and it was censored. And Emily Ratajkowski or whatever was flipping the bird, and I'm like, okay, now you have to show. I have to see your tits now because I didn't force you to do it. You just went ahead and did it. I am offended that your tits are censored. I think if you're gonna be that bold, and I think female empowerment, I gotta see your tits. Show me your tits. I suppose. Oh, and so I have like this weird dilemma in my head because I want to say I was never a fan of Kim Kardashian right from the get-go. I heard that her claim to fame was literally a Paris Hilton 2.0 attempt at just making a sex video, which of course was produced. And I think I remember in this podcast I listened to, because podcasts mostly what all I do now these days, you know, after work and in between, or maybe during work. But that's not true. These two comedians were talking about it, and they were actually watching the video during the podcast, and one of the other comedians pointed something out, saying, "Wait, who's holding the fucking camera?" And I was like, "Of course, that makes sense." So if you ever watch this Kim Kardashian sex video, watch it again, and okay, notice she's doing the deed, and the dude is there, and there's some points where the camera is just not anywhere near this guy. So that means there's a third person recording the deed, which meant that, of course, it was a produced fucking sex tape. It wasn't just an impromptu thing two people decided to do to maybe commiserate or to document this rather intimate moment. So it was a ploy, you know. So everything's a fucking ploy, and everything's like a marketing stunt and everything. But there's something very annoyingly disturbing about the Kim Kardashian case, because I'm like, what the fuck do you do? What does she ever do? What does she ever do apart from injecting fucking silicone in her ass and walking around fucking Beverly Hills, and everyone is just like, we are partly to blame for this. We, the members of the public that watch, okay, I suspect there's probably less than 8% of the British population that watch Meet the Kardashians. If it's higher than that, then we should all hang our heads in shame. But the Americans are mostly to blame for this because, you know, there is a TV show called Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which I've never watched, because the day I do that, I will literally gouge my eyes out with a fucking spoon. I'll sterilize it first, though. And then I'm like, but you're rich already. You come from a wealthy family. You did the porn video. You're rich. You married to Kanye West, which is why he's fucking batshit insane now. In fact, everybody in that family is fucking insane. I mean, we got Bruce, Caitlyn Jenner in one corner, Kanye Northwest in the other corner. Lamar, Kendrick, Chloe. The sheer fact that I know the names means I need to pour some fucking bleach down my eardrums or something. But my point being, I can't say she's dumb, because she's not dumb. She's clearly intelligent. But I question that level of intelligence, because I'm like, it just seems exploitative, you know, and I don't think she's the one being exploited. I think she's the one doing the exploiting, and I think that's correct, because I think there is a malign intelligence behind that. So obviously the ploy worked, because I'm actually talking about it in my podcast. Everyone's talking about it. And I am asking myself, to what fucking purpose? What is this? What's it for? I mean, and for me, it's slightly even more frustrating, because I'm like, Well, if you're gonna flash me your tits, can I just see them? I mean, why am I being censored to see your fucking tits? Honestly, I almost want to just search because I think I'm looking at the wrong source here. Fire up my net worth. No, not. I'm not gonna. Emily, let me see. Emily. Ratatatatatatkowski selfie. I think it's unfair that they should do that, and it's censored. Because it's all censored. Why are these things being censored? If you're gonna do that and you're gonna push it into the world, why is it being censored? That makes no fucking sense to me. That's frustrating and that's very annoying. It is fucking insane. It is insane. It's just, oh my God. Okay, if she was a porn star, I get it. Hey, I even respect that. And to be honest, at this point, I actually respect a porn star. I actually respect a porn star more than Kim Kardashian, because at least a porn star, it's a job. She knows what she's fucking doing. She's selling her goods, I suppose. And yeah, you know what she is. Open and shut case. She's a porn star. She does porn. I mean, Jesus Christ. And if a porn star took a selfie photo, that it wouldn't even make any fuss because everyone says, oh yeah, she's a porn star. I get it. But I don't understand. It's still a fascinating thing. And there must be people studying the Kardashians because it is a cultural phenomenon that for a group of people to exist that offer so little in return to the community, it's just baffling to me it's just absolutely baffling to me, really, that we should be so enamored with such individuals. And for me, I remember once, it was last year, where there's this singer called Origa. What's her name? That's her artistic name. Let's see if I can get the full name for ya. Origa. She's a musician. Yeah, so, Jesus. What kind of a name she has? Olga Vitalyevna Yakovleva or something. She was a singer, a Russian singer. She died last year in January. I think she was maybe 41 years old. And she has one of the most loveliest voices I've ever heard in my life. I mean, she dies at 44, yeah. She died of throat cancer. And for me, I can't believe such a talented person dies off. And then we're stuck with the fucking Kardashians. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. She is, and she was quite accomplished. I mean, I first heard a voice in the opening sequence of the original Ghost in the Shell standalone complex anime TV show that I discovered back in 2004, 2005. And the moment I heard it, I was like, what language is this? And then later I discovered it was Russian. And to this day, it's one of the reasons why I want to learn Russian, because it's such a fantastic language. And I mean, I always thought it was, I listened to Boris Yeltsin, former president of the Russian Federation, during speeches back in like 96 and 97. I was like, this guy's hilarious, and what kind of language is this? But after hearing Origa sing, I was like, this language can be that beautiful. So talented. And such a person that clearly adding something to the species. She dies, right? She dies. And yet the Kardashians are there, I'm not saying, I'm not saying anything malicious, but there is something. There is something to that. There's got to be something there, right? Or maybe there's nothing. Maybe I'm trying to see something. But it seems unfair to me that you would have the Kardashians exist and, and such a talented person would die. That's all I'm saying, really. But, oh my God. Anyway, so that happened. So, and a lot of people are saying, like, okay, for me, it's just, I've never had any respect for the Kardashians, especially Kim Kardashian, and now I don't think I'll ever will, because that is just trashy stuff, man. That is just, I mean, how much attention do you need? Why are you such an attention whore? And clearly, it's working, because I just spent almost 17 minutes talking about it. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyways, I wonder, did I ever speak about, like, this whole... Oh, actually, something really, really grinding my gears this morning. I mean, I woke up and I was watching this YouTube video about Rotten Tomatoes giving like the Batman Superman movie a 23% rating. And not that I really give a shit about that, but I thought that was really interesting because Star Wars The Force Awakens came out, like December or January, and those same Rotten Tomatoes people gave it like a 90% critics rating. I'm like, but Star Wars is a piece of shit. I mean, it's just insane. It's just insane. I mean, like, if you're a fan of Star Wars, then yeah, it's amazing and whatnot. But you know, I'm not a fan of Star Wars. I'm really not a fan of Star Wars anymore. And it's just like, I watched the film, it was shit. It was just absolute shit. And for Rotten Tomatoes to give that thing a 90% rating, critics, I'm like, hey, I think critics are insane anyway. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I have such a simple mind, maybe I have a simple brain, that if I go to watch a film, I don't see all the subtle things. Like, you ever tried to read a review for a movie or a TV show and you just see the author just writing things that you're like, wait, what are you talking about right now? And they always seem to talk about all those themes that laced throughout the film. So I'm like, dude, I went to watch a movie, stuff got blown up, end of story. You know, but if a reviewer watches the same film, they start picking up, the cinematography or what the director or the screenplays. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Is the film fun or not? You know. Anyways, I'm watching this video and this lady was trying to break down why the Batman v Superman movie got a 23% rating. I'm like, yeah, fine, I don't care. I enjoyed the film. I'm going to buy it on DVD. But for me, I felt, and again, it's something I did suspect, and a lot of people did suspect as well when reviews for The Force Awakens came out and everyone said, oh yeah, it's the best Star Wars movie ever, and etc., 90%, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, fine. So obviously I'm not a Star Wars expert or aficionado or whatever, but I don't know, how can you give a film the rating that it's the best of its genre where it more or less recycles its entire plotline from a previous film in the same series of films? You know, we can start from there. Because to be honest, if you have watched episode 4 of this, you know, I don't even know why I'm bothering with this. I did a podcast with back during my Two Dudes Talking series, and I actually devoted an entire episode called Sucky Star Wars, because it does fucking suck. And I swear to God, I will not watch the rest of it. I will not pay to watch a Star Wars movie ever again, because it was an absolute crock of shit. Absolute crock of shit. And so it's very interesting that Rotten Tomatoes should give a Batman v Superman movie a 23% rating. Again, not that I really care about that, but if you're going to give a Batman v Superman movie a 23% rating and you give a Star Wars Force Awakens piece of shit film 90%, it just shows you're being bought. You know, Disney just lined your wallets and you're intellectually dishonest. So for me personally, I just wrote off Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, fuck you guys. You guys are pieces of shit. Honestly, you're all fucking pieces of shit. That's ridiculous. Ah, look at that. You know, just spent the first 24 minutes just ranting. I don't know why I'm in a ranty mood. I don't know, that chimpanzee story scares the fuck out of me, man. You know, it's just, oh my God. I don't know why anyone literally would want to keep a chimpanzee as a pet. Oh man. Oh, that's ridiculous. And I think the past week, I think for those of you who follow the news, you're probably aware of this by now. There's this whole standoff. I don't even know if it's resolved yet, because I haven't looked into it, between Apple and the United States government because of this whole San Bernardino shootings where this couple just shot up the place and eventually got killed. But since then, I think the government's been trying to hack the shooter's phone to get some information. But because Apple phones have this advanced encryption system, you know, it's almost impossible to do it unless, of course, the owner does it, but the owner is dead. So I think the US government's, you know, asking Apple to at least extract that piece of information from this said phone, and Apple wouldn't do it, you know, or they're making it very hard for the US government. And I did listen to this podcast where there's this former CIA agent, and he was talking about the circumstances regarding the case, saying it's not like the US government hasn't expended all the means of extracting that information from the phone. They've tried everything, and if they have to ask Apple, that means that, they've really tried everything and they can't hack it. So, and it's not like, so at least according to what the guy was saying, it was like, it's not the saying, oh, we want you to give us the method you would take to hack the phone. No, we're going to give you the phone. You're going to take it to one of your labs, and we just need to extract a single part of it. We don't even have to do anything with it. The phone can be offline, and you just need to extract a bit of information for us and give us the information. You can keep the phone. You can do whatever the fuck you want with the phone afterwards. And yet Apple refused to budge, at least at the time I paid attention to the story. And, I thought about it. I was like, yes. So I kind of understand what the FBI, in this case, the US government, is going with this. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, what the fuck did you expect? I mean, you fucking built like an entire facility in one of your states, is it Utah, to just record people. I mean, even right now, I think I'm probably going to be in some database somewhere, since I said the US government or NSA or whatever. But hey, what can I do? But that's my point exactly. The point is, your people now know you spy on them. I mean, the Americans, I feel sorry for you guys, man. I love you guys. But I mean, a typical American is paranoid now, even more so than before, because now they know every single phone call, every single email is being sent, it's being recorded by, it's being recorded somewhere. So you have that in the background. So it's like kind of like a boy that cries wolf or a girl that cries wolf. I don't know if we're going to be gender equal there. You're now saying that, oh, okay, we just need you, this US government, to Apple, by the way. It's like, oh, we just need you to trust us just this one time that we're not going to abuse our powers. And Apple's like, they must be saying behind their heads. I mean, they're really smart people. They're like, but you fucking record everything anyway. You're already spying on people. So are you spying on people or not? Is it an effective method or not? Because if you're recording everything, you're creating all this huge tons of data. And you probably, I don't know, how do you sift through them to find the information you need? Why do you need to ask us for this? So, or why the fuck should we trust you? Because you spy on us anyway. So it's like, so from one end, I kind of understand that, yes, fine. Yeah, it's probably be nice if Apple cooperated with the US government. But at the same time, like, I think this is fallout, and I think the irony isn't lost in members of the US government or the NSA or anyone that's spying on people. Even in England here, we have the GHCQ that's spying on people. But my point is this. If your people know you're spying on them, and you are spying on them, so there is proof now. I mean, it's not part of what the old Snowden files revealed. I mean, yeah, we know governments are spying on people. We know now that the governments spy on each other. They're all spying on each other all the time. So why the fuck should we assist you with anything? So in a way, it's almost as if Apple is doing this to spite the US government on purpose. I'm like, yeah, you're spying on us. I know you want us to remove a piece of encryption that would allow you to extract your technology, but I thought you were spying on us anyway. So why don't you just go sift through your petabytes of data and fix this? Or how are you spying on us? So that opens that whole case now. And that whole scenario. What exactly are you doing? What exactly are you doing? Are you spying on us or not? So I thought that was really fascinating, and I heard it in this podcast, and I thought that was really, really fascinating. I was like, that is interesting. And I don't know, will it set a precedent? Because if Apple does, cooperate with the US government and they do hack the phone, should Apple now expect this to happen constantly all the time? And where does that leave the American people? And why should I give a shit? I live in England. But I think it's a very interesting philosophical conundrum. And I think this is probably the first podcast I've actually talked this really, I'm talking really, really quickly. I think what I'm doing here is like, because normally when I record this, I have my headphones plugged in so I can hear myself talk. But I think that's very weird because if I'm talking about myself and I can hear my own voice feedbacking in my head, it slows me down a bit. So it's like almost I'm punching myself in the face with audio sounds. So I've decided to take my headphones off and my mind flows quicker. I probably should talk slower, but I don't know. I'll play it back and see how I sound. And my phone just went off. Who is this? Probably shouldn't be answering this. Put the phone on silent. It's me, Mom. Yes, Mom, I have food. Hang on. Ooh. Oh, wait. Oh man, Bruce Jenner complete exchange. Woman report. It's just something I was talking to a friend of mine, and it's just like, wait, so what is the case with this whole Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner thing? I mean, okay, we should call him Caitlyn Jenner, but does he still have a penis, or does it? This whole Jenner thing, it's a bit weird for me because I'm like, I don't know, for thousands of years, there's only been two genders, male and female. Now we have transgenders, people are swapping around. It's a bit confusing to me. I'm a bit old school like that. I was born in the 80s. And so it was interesting that I actually, ever since that, was it Vanity Fair article came out saying, oh, call me Caitlyn. I'm like, okay, cool. So the guy went through with it. So now he's a she, So I always thought that he or she, or you see what I mean? So I don't even know where to start from. So he, because he had a penis, and it's a she now, so she doesn't have a penis. But apparently that's not the case, I think. I don't think that's happened yet. Because I can't seem to find an article saying whether or not Caitlyn still have a penis. Because for me, and this is very Luddite way of thinking about it, and yes, it's old school, and yes, maybe I'm politically incorrect, but I have a say in this as well. I have a fucking say in this as well. I wasn't there when Bruce decided, oh, I'm going to become Caitlyn Jenner, I'm going to be a woman or whatever. I wasn't consulted, So why the fuck should I acquiesce to those particular fucking demands? For me, it's simple. It's probably one of the reasons why I don't think I can ever go to the Philippines or Indonesia or what have you. If you identify as a woman, that's all on you, man. I had nothing to do with it. We didn't have a conversation about it. That is all on you. Now, on that note, if you identify as a woman and to my vision, you still appear to be a man, that you still have the cheekbones, you have horrible makeup, and your shoulders are still there, whatever, and you just look clunky and you're clearly a man, I'm just going to think you're a man, okay? Because you're clearly not putting enough effort into it. You can't have it both ways. We all know the lady boys in Thailand or the Philippines or whatever. I am now scared to go to those fucking countries. No offense to any Thai people or Filipinos, whatever. I'm sure our country is amazing. And this is not the point. The point is that I think lady boys, they look so much more than actual women sometimes, that it scares me that I might get tricked. It's true. I might get tricked. I can't tell the difference anymore. So let me just do a quick search. Lady boys, and hopefully, please, I don't want to... Lady boys of Bangkok. I'm looking at some of them now, and I swear to God, I can't tell the fucking difference. These look like women to me. So if these women, I don't know, are they even fully women at this point? I'm looking at some of them now, and I honestly can't fucking tell. I honestly can't tell. These look like women to me. So if I was talking to one in the club, and maybe after like an hour and we're getting drunk, and she says, oh, full disclosure, I'm actually a man, I still have a penis. I'm like, whoa, dude, you totally fooled me. And I wouldn't be offended because, hey, I appreciate the honesty. But yeah, that's example. That's my example. That's my limit. That's me meeting you halfway there. You gotta, if you want to identify as a woman, shit, you better fucking look like a woman, because otherwise, I don't know. So that's my criteria there. If you're gonna identify as a woman, you gotta look like a woman, man. I mean, come on, you gotta meet me halfway. Because you can't just say, oh, I identify as a woman, and you clearly have a beard, a stubble, or chest hairs. Because I'm like, no, dude, you're just a guy in drag. God, I'm gonna get shot. And the other thing I thought about was like, okay, the other absolute fact is, if you're gonna identify as a woman, you can't have a penis. You can't at that point, because I am old school. I am the Luddite here. I am the unenlightened person here, and I think I just made that word up. But that's how it's worked for thousands of years. There's always been men and women, and now we want to mix it up. I'm cool. Yeah, whatever, man. Whatever makes you happy. But you can't tell me you're identifying as a woman if you still have a penis. That sounds like hypocrisy to me. That sounds like obvious bullshit. So I think that's my criteria. If you're going to identify as a woman, please put the effort in to look like a woman and look convincing like a woman, so that I don't actually see you as a woman, as a man or whatever. You can't just say, oh, I identify as a woman, and then you're clearly still a man and you still have a penis and balls. That makes no sense to me. So for me, I will still identify you as a man. It doesn't matter how you identify yourself. It's just, you got to project that image out there. If you came to me in the club and you're suited up, you're clearly wearing men's clothes and whatever, and you're clearly behaving like a man, like a dude and whatever, and then you say, oh, I identify as a woman. It's like, are you fucking joking? It's like, okay, and you say, no, I'm not joking. But you look like a dude. You look like a man. What the fuck? Honestly. I mean, what am I supposed to do here? How am I supposed to just divorce myself from reality that, oh, I'm supposed to see you as a man? I know when you're clearly, I'm supposed to see you as a woman, but you're clearly a man. So where does that leave me? So no, I'm not going to play along with it. So unless you're like the lady boys in Thailand, that, I mean, I'm looking at some more photos on Google Images, and I swear to God, apart from maybe the odd one that just maybe was doing drag for a laugh, I cannot tell that these are actual men or men. I can't tell. They look so feminine. They look like women. They are women. I'm looking at them now. My brain is telling me, okay, I'm looking at them. All I'm saying through this Google image search scroll are women, as far as I can tell, until they whip the dick out. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is fucking amazing. And it's probably one of the reasons why I can never go to Thailand, because I can't tell anymore. I can't tell anymore. And this is becoming very distracting because I can't tell. This is insane. I think they set the gold standard for, this whole transgender movement. I think the lady boys set the gold standard for it, because if you're gonna, come and think about it. How selfish is that? So you decide, suddenly you've had this epiphany that, I was born in the wrong body, or I really should be a woman and everything. And then you decide to identify as a woman, and you're not putting in the effort. What the fuck's going on? What kind of selfishness is that? I'm not going to buy your shit. No. If you're going to identify as a woman, be a fucking woman, okay? Be the woman, so I can identify you as. So this whole Bruce Jenner thing, I find very interesting, because, I don't know, I don't think Bruce is, and now I'm going to still call him Bruce, and I think it's still a him, because you can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways. You can't say, call me Caitlyn, and still have a fucking penis. So I'm looking at articles now. I'm like, did Bruce Jenner cut his balls? Oh, God. I'm sure there's probably a more eloquent way of typing out, but shit, I don't have time. I'm doing the podcast. So, no, I think most of the articles I can see, the latest being from July 2015, saying Caitlyn Jenner has not completed gender reassignment. So as far as I'm concerned, it's still Bruce. I wasn't there in that production meeting for Meet the Kardashians. It was like, oh, Kevin, what do you think Bruce should do? I'm like, well, I'm glad you asked, Jeremy. Hey, I'm not saying don't do, we're free in a way. Hey, and there's that whole misconception about freedom, okay? Because freedom itself, is chaos. Nobody can be 100% free, Because I could decide, I want to walk into the bank and take 20,000 pounds. I should be free to do that. But guess what? The United Kingdom, Her Majesty's Royal Revenue and Customs doesn't think that way. Barclays wouldn't think that way. They'd be like, dude, security, get this guy on the ground, call the fucking police. So my point being, yes, we should be within a limited confine of the spectrum, be free to do whatever we want. I'm not saying people shouldn't be whoever they want to be. I'm just saying that if you're going to decide to change something as fundamental as gender and the way people see you, you got to go full into it. You got to commit into it. Like the ladyboys of Thailand or the Philippines or Indonesia. I don't even know if Indonesia has ladyboys. I don't know. I keep saying Indonesia for some bizarre reason. You see these ladyboys, man. I mean, they nailed it. I mean, I'm scrolling through this Google Images thing, and I can barely tell that these women were men. All I see are women. I can't even tell anymore. I'm looking at women right now, and they used to be men. You know, so that should be the standard right there and then. That is the standard. Because if you're going to say, I'm a woman, you better fucking look the part. You better look the part. You better behave the part. I mean, I can never go to Thailand. I can never go to Thailand. I might get tricked. And yeah, I'm never going to Thailand. Yeah, I'm afraid to say the next few words. I think it's even for me, it's a bit scary. And yeah, I like women, you know, like I think what crazy social justice warriors would call cisgendered women or whatever. I call them old school vanilla women. You know, they came out of the factory with certain properties that I like. You know, that's my thing. And you know, if you like both or if you like the opposite gender, hey, that's fine, dude. Whatever makes you happy. I'm not saying don't like it. I'm saying, you know, whatever, man. I like what I like. You like what you like. But don't give me fucking shit if you decide that, oh, I can't call you a she anymore. I have to call you a Z. You know, this sort of social justice warrior fucking nonsense that's happening in it's a fucking phone. Leave me alone. I hate my phone. You know, in American campuses, you know, they have this whole weird thing about gender pronouns now. I'm like, no, all we have essentially still is a she or a he or she or whatever. You can't have it both ways. And I think this whole thing about having your cake and eating it, maybe that is lost, you know, on a lot of these crazy people that live in the United States. I mean, the United States is a lot of things, but it's also fucking crazy. I mean, you can't, it'll be different if our species evolved and we have really 3 genders, male, female, and maybe something else. But no, there's only 2 genders. And in the animal kingdom, especially in mammals, even in mammals, but most animals anyway, there's a male and a female. So there is something to that. You know, you don't have fucking baboons having like a 3rd gender in between there somewhere. You don't have the same with chimps. You know, talk about fucking chimps, I hate. Gorillas, dolphins, elephants, you fucking name it. They have 2 genders. So do we humans. So if you're going to switch ship, right, if you're going to change class, no one's saying don't do that. But I'm saying you got to commit. You got to do it properly. You know, you can't do it halfway. That's ridiculous. So, Bruce, unless you cut your balls off, you're still a dude to me. I'm sorry. I'm not going to call you Caitlin. I decided I can't do it. The fuck? You know, you say, call me Caitlin. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Caitlin. Do you still have a penis? Yes. You're still Bruce. Yeah. Or if you don't have a penis, fine. You're Caitlin. Now you're a woman. You know, now you're a woman. I can address you as a woman. But you can't have it both ways. What the honest fuck is that? Honestly. I was born in 1983, so... so maybe I'm not old school. But it works for me, man. Listen, I'm going to go with the information, these social constructs we've kind of, you know, constructed over the last 2,000-3,000 years. Seems to be working out so far. So, yeah. But yeah, I've been having a nice Sunday so far, actually. I had dinner. And while preparing dinner, oh, it's raining outside. While preparing dinner, I decided, oh my God, I'm going to watch this movie that my mom bought for me on VHS when I was a kid. And it's called Your Hunter from the Future. It is amazing. It's one of the best films ever. And that's Y-O-R. It's actually Y-O-R, Your. That's the name of the movie. And then the tagline is like Hunter from the Future, and it's amazing. It is so amazing. It's like, it was actually made in 1983, the year I was born. So, and I didn't get to watch it till I was like maybe 6 or 7 years old. And around that time, I must have had some kind of weird memory issue, because I would watch a movie, I'd rewind it, then watch it again, and rewind it, and watch it again, and rewind it. I mean, hey, there's only so much you can do growing up in West Africa. When you have like, I don't know, electricity for maybe 5 to 6 hours a day. The same thing with Howard the Duck, which is my other favorite movie. And I think a good friend of mine actually gifted that to me over Christmas. I was like, oh, that is so nice. Probably she got, tired of me just blabbing on about it constantly, as I'm doing now in my podcast. But Hunter from the Future, amazing. It's essentially the story about this cave dude called Yor just going around hunting. He comes across this tribe, saves some chick in this tribe from a triceratops because there's dinosaurs in it. And and the whole movie kicks off from there. And at some point, you get robots firing lasers. So it's kind of a weird transition from prehistoric, primitive times to high-tech, futuristic laser shooting towards the end of the movie. And it's perfect. I fucking love it. And I was doing some research about it, and people were saying like, it's one of the Razzies, one of the best, worst movies ever made. I'm like, how dare you? How dare you, heretics? It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I am so in love with that movie. I need to get it on DVD. I already have Howard the Duck, so that's cool. I need to get your Hunter from the Future on DVD. I literally watched it for, it's 2 hours long, and I enjoyed every fucking second of it. You may watch it now and say, dude, it's a piece of shit. I'm like, yeah, to you, but for me, it's one of the best films I've ever seen in my whole fucking life. And I just need to get it on DVD. You know what? I think I'm going to go watch Howard the Duck after this. Fuck it. Why not? Gonna go watch it. Oh my god, what a good afternoon. Man. And again, there's this whole debate about like, bit of a geek topic here. Because, okay, if you ever watched the Man of Steel movie, that's the Henry Cavill, Russell Crowe, what's the other lady's name? Anyways, if you've seen the Man of Steel that came out in 2013, another fantastic film. I love this movie. Absolutely love it. Apparently, people were criticizing, I think I said this in my previous podcast episode anyway, people were criticizing it, saying, because there's this scene where Superman and General Zod go at it in Metropolis, literally leveling the entire city, because these are gods fighting, and people were criticizing and saying, oh yeah, you're killing people and, people died. I'm like, yeah, fine, it's unfortunate, but look on the bright side, at least he killed fucking Zod, which would have killed everybody on the planet if Superman or Kal-El hadn't stopped him. And people criticized the sheer fact that Superman killed General Zod, which I'm like, are you people such fucking pussies or what? I mean, fine, it's all science fiction, but let's dive into that for a second. You have this guy killing the member of his own species or race or whatever, the very last member. He was forced to kill his own kind for you fucks, and you're criticizing him. I know you're criticizing him, saying, oh, people are dying and everything. And people were criticizing the director, Zack Snyder, saying, because he had a more serious tone to the new Batman v Superman movie, Dawn of Justice and whatnot, saying, Batman shooting people. Yeah, why not? I mean, fuck me, man. I mean, if you're going to bring a gun to a gunfight, you're going to get shot. I mean, yeah, so Batman does his best, punches people out. It's just, applying excessive violence. I mean, forget the sheer fact that he's giving people concussions left and right. So he whips a pistol out and shoots someone. Why? Why should Batman not shoot someone? I mean, if I was me, I'll be shooting people non-stop. Anyways, that's not even the point. The point being, people criticize Zack Snyder, the director, saying, in your movie, virtual people or fictional people are dying horrifically and everything. And the guy's like, okay, The Force Awakens, yeah? And I think it's probably not bad spoilers at this point, but in The Force Awakens, the baddies, the Empire Strike Back people, they literally shot this massive beam from this planet, which, defied all forms of physics, but hey, it's Star Wars, right? Anyways, this planet Death Star thing shoots this massive laser out of its core and literally destroys 5 planets in a single shot. One of them being Coruscant, which is the capital of the galaxy. I don't know. It's not the Empire. It's the Republic. Yeah. So Coruscant, which is like one of the most heavily, densely populated system in the entire universe, gets taken out with 4 other planets. We're talking billions, absolute fucking billions of life forms, not just humans, but just life taken out in one single shot. And no one's throwing their fucking arms up against that. Everyone's fine with genocide, apparently, in Star Wars. So how do you feel like? If you're a Star Wars fan and you watch The Force Awakens, so you approve of genocide? Because if you can watch that, then shut the fuck up. Why should the stuff in Batman or Superman or Man of Steel annoy you? Do you see that hypocrisy there? And I saw it. So I thought Zack Snyder had a very good point, actually, saying, why are you criticizing me when Star Wars, billions of living things died, not just humans? Entire planets were taken the fuck out. I don't see you giving me shit, and you giving me shit because in my Man of Steel movie, a few thousand fictional people died. And it's like, you know what? There's this whole irony about my complaints here, because I opened up the podcast talking about how, well, besides the chimpanzee thing, I was talking about how, like, Emily Ratatatatkovsky, what the fuck is her name, and Kim Kardashian, the way posing topless and whatever, and why should we give a shit about that? I mean, and ironically, I do give a shit about it because I'm talking about it now. And the other thing I'm talking about now is fictional people dying in films. So you can tell how amazing this podcast is. I need to get more people on this. I don't know. I just think people are too soft, to be honest. Sometimes I do think that, because if you can watch a movie and you can complain about that, you need to go do some fucking squats, man. Not even fucking Vikram yoga. You need to do some squats. You need to swing around some tires. You need to just go for a fucking run, honestly. You need to do something difficult. Because if that is what is triggering you, I can't believe I just said that, trigger. I was actually listening to, say again, more things to talk about that I'm probably not going to talk about in this episode because I'm running out of time. I did find it interesting listening to this podcast, where this was a podcast between Bert Kreischer, it's a comedian, because I listen to a lot of podcasts with comedians, and Esther Koo from the Koo and the Gang podcast. And we're talking one really good podcast episode that actually highly recommended. Look it up. And Bert was talking about how do you even broach the subject? I mean, this guy does everything. He's jumping out of planes. He's swimming with sharks. He's riding motorcycles through Vietnam. He's doing a lot of crazy things. And I've forgotten exactly how he got into it, but he was saying about how he thinks like Caucasians, like people that live in North America. Because his life is not the average life of a Caucasian male in America, because he's just doing extreme things every day. And he was saying that he kind of understands now that this is probably why Caucasians like doing difficult things, because it's like they've lived this entire life in a bubble where nothing ever happens to them, because, in North America, of a population of 310 million people, where 62% are white or Caucasian, which is at least 262 million people, the highest concentration of Caucasians on the planet, which blew my mind away. And I think I mentioned this 2 podcasts ago. The majority of those people just live in a kind of like, okay, fine, relatively speaking, a very kind of carefree life that you don't necessarily need to worry about a lot of things. If you're a black African male living in America, I mean, you got to worry sometimes. The moment you leave your house, you might not come back. And I'm not just saying this out of spite or whatever. It's kind of true, because isn't it the country where they had Jim Crow laws, segregation for the longest time? And the racism's still there. So, yeah. So, and the same occurs with, all the ethnicities. They have one thing or the other. So if it's not the African Americans, if not the Hispanics or the Asians, they all have some kind of weird adversity to go through. I mean, all of them are subject to racism. If your kid's growing up and then other kids just yell in their face like, go back to your fucking country, etc. I mean, yeah, you'd start dealing with that shit early enough, but you don't get that if you're a Caucasian, male or female. Especially if you live in America, the most densely populated concentration of Caucasians on the planet. So it's interesting that Bert Kreischer should mention this, because he was saying that because his wife, they bought chickens to lay eggs, and he was saying, that probably explains that. And in a way, for me, that hit a note in my head, because a friend of mine, I don't think she, I don't think she does that. I think she still does it, but I don't know. I haven't spoken to her about that in a while. Normally, every year, she takes a trip to some third world country or, some southern hemisphere country. And it involves hiking through, like, for instance, Chile or Nepal or Vietnam or something. And I thought about it, and I was like, no, I'm not going to fucking do that, because shit. My ancestors spend all the time in the fucking bush running from shit. I'm not going to fucking do that now. I think my ancestors did all that so I can live a life in modernity and have electricity and water flowing through the taps. So no, sorry, I'm not going to go fucking hike in the wilderness where something might kill me or I might get a flesh-eating virus if I go to Chile or Nepal and get dysentery or diarrhea. No, I'm not going to fucking do that. That's ridiculous. But I did think it was interesting that, this comedian should say that this, Caucasian male living in America. I think maybe this explains why, I got to put it out there. I think extreme sports are mostly done by Caucasians, be it like skiing, skydiving, bungee jumping, safaris, hiking through fucking woods or bear country and everything. You never find ethnicities doing this, or minor ethnicities doing this, because we have fucking shit to deal with, man. We have a lot of shit to deal with. I'm not gonna fucking go jump out of the fucking plane. Nah, I like being on the ground. I'm trying not to die here. I'm trying to avoid being hit by cars on a daily basis. Now I'm not gonna go fucking jump out of the plane. I thought that was really interesting. You should bring that up, because I was thinking about that for a while. It's like, why do fine? It's in my head. I'm like, why do I would say Caucasians, why do they like doing extreme stuff like that? It makes no sense to me. Some people would say it's the adrenaline junkie or whatever, but it makes no fucking sense to me, Oh, well, but yeah, I thought that was interesting, which is why, I'd like to tell this fucking social justice warrior people, like, you need to fucking exercise. If you exercise every 2 days and you're exhausted at the end of your workout and you just want to drink some water, shower, by the time you've done that, you'll be a much calmer person and you learn to relax. But if you don't do anything and your DNA is screaming because our ancestors used to, hunt stuff, and now we don't do that because we live in cities, your DNA is still there. It's still there and it's still screaming at you. Ugh. And to be honest, I did want to speak about this whole Vernon K incident, and it's not much of an incident, really. So there's this public celebrity dude called Vernon K, and he's been caught out texting this model that he used to sext back in 2010, and now he's doing it again. And it's two things there. First of all, classy, the lady, to out him like that, but at the same time, maybe she probably said, dude, we shouldn't be texting. You said you wouldn't do this, and he's being selfish, and so she outed him, so fine. Kind of his fault as well. And it's very interesting, because I always have to think about it. For me, I usually just, I have this saying that I got from this YouTube video I watched once where the guy says, listen, I don't necessarily condone your actions, but I understand it. And in a way, for Vernon, I do understand it. There is the concept of the Coolidge effect. It's always there. And it's why I have this definition of what being civilized is. Because I'm like, yeah, we're animals. And if you can accept the sheer fact that we're animals and we have base primal instincts, the better it is for you. The better it is for everyone. Just understand why if you're a dude and an attractive woman walks past you, there are certain things in your head that lights up your crotch area twitches, because that's your primal instinct saying, okay, you'd like to have sex with that woman. And there's nothing wrong with that. But being civilized naturally means that, okay, how do we get about doing that? Maybe I should ask her out, see what she's like, and then hopefully at some point we get intimate. That's the way to go. You just don't go about aggressively raping people. I'm not condoning that. That's fucked up. But going back to Vernon K, so I kind of get it, but at the same time, like, dude, man, come on, your wife, she's older than you. Well, she's 46, he's 41. They have 2 kids together. I'm like, dude, just respect your wife and don't do fucking shit like that, man. Maybe go to counsel therapy, fix it somehow, or just admit that, yeah, you're always going to be, you're married to the woman, you're bored of having sex with her, just deal with it. Don't all just divorce her and then officially go sleep with other women. Yeah, the Coolidge effect is real. I mean, I think it was scientifically tested, and this theory that I don't necessarily even know the definition, but the sheer fact that you would put a hamster was put in this cage with 3 females. I think I'm just loosely summarizing the experiment here. And of course, the hamster went to town and just had sex with all the females, and he did this for like a month, non-stop, every day, non-stop. By the second month, the hamster wasn't mating with any of the females. And the scientists, of course, the researchers noted that. And then they took a new female hamster and just put it in the cage. And guess what happened? Yeah, you can tell. Old Mr. Running back there. I mean, he just literally mounted the new female hamster and just went away at it. And that is a scientifically proven fact that's how our brains work. So if you're going to be in a long-term relationship, yeah, that will happen, that the Coolidge effect will kick in. And it's how you deal with it is what matters. Which is why sometimes I even have heard of this, where some wives will prevent their husbands from watching porn. I'm like, do you realize how much damage you're doing? Because, okay, your husband probably on some weird level recognizes that, okay, I'm getting bored of my wife and maybe I want to have sex with other women. But it would be bad. It would hurt her feelings. It would be bad for the marriage if we're married and everything. So maybe I just watch some porn and maybe trick my brain into thinking I'm having sex with other women. And if your wife is preventing you from doing this, what the fuck? Come on. Don't do that. Just let him. It's fucking porn. What the fuck do you care? Aren't you happy that he's not trying to pester you for sex or whatever? Jesus Christ. Anyways, I'm up to an hour, which is good. That's always my. Let's just mark this up. I missed more topics I was supposed to talk about. I've always wanted to talk about this topic from the Starship Troopers movie, but I think I'll save that for episode 6 or episode 7. I think I'm going to have... No, I think that'll be episode 8 or something. And I haven't released episode 2. But, no. Yeah. I think I'm going to stop there. I think I've ranted enough. And this was a ranty episode. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out a format for this. Obviously, I failed at bringing in humor, which it's very difficult to do because I can only inject humor into this podcast if there's someone there to talk to. Otherwise, it's very difficult to do that by yourself. This is why I'm fascinated that one of my favorite comedians ever, Bill Burr, he does that. He makes me laugh my fucking ass off. And most of the time, he's just there rambling. He's just fucking rambling for an hour and I'm pissing myself laughing. I mean, that shows the quality of a comedian, that he is. Oh, well, I suppose I'll get there at some point. But yeah, that is the end of my podcast, or episode 5. I still don't know what to call it just yet. But this is the end of episode 5. And stay tuned for episode 6. You can find my podcast on YouTube mostly, on my channel. It's called Sound Legit Podcast. Just do a search for Sounds Legit and you should find my playlists. And on my channel, you can also check on my playlist for my Two Dudes Talking Legacy series. But yes, check it out. And I'll catch you next time. I mean, thanks for listening, I guess. If you've tolerated me to this point, I love you. You are awesome. And tell your friends about it. And if you want to come on, just let me know. That'd be fun. I think in episode 3, Doping Horses, I had my buddy Dan come on, and that was fun, that was hilarious. So yeah, if you want to come on the show, send me a message. But yes, look at my channel, check out my channel on YouTube, Sounds Legit Podcast, and yeah, stay tuned for episode 6. And yeah, have a nice start to the week, and I'll speak to you soon or later. Take care. Bye.